Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? Motion passed. Ordinance 94, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of an application with the Louisiana Housing Corporation for a grant under the 2018-20 Emergency Solutions Grants Program.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Nanette Cook. Need a second? Second by Councilman Castile. Not seeing any council discussion at this time. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? Motion passed. Ordinance 95, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of a grant application with the National Park Service for a Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance Program grant for the Nature Station.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Nanette Cook. Got a second by Councilman Bellard. I'm not seeing any council discussion. Public comment?
No, sir.
All right, please call the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, just a reminder, appeals, everyone, that items 23 and 24 have been withdrawn per the applicant's request. So now I'd like to move over to introductory ordinances. Please, everyone, item 27 will be pulled from the global list. And at this time, I need a motion and a second to introduce in global. Motion by Councilman Conk, second by, who gave me this? Councilman Castile. Okay? Please read.
Ordinance 97, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council, Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, providing for the creation of a special fire protection district in said parish, describing the boundaries thereof, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Ordinance 98, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $8,131 from personnel salaries to appropriate within the promotions cost account of the Lafayette Police Department to allow for police sergeant promotions. Ordinance 100, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $965,000 from various matching funds accounts to the MPO LCG Road Overlay Program MTC account in order to consolidate matching funds into one account within the Public Works Department. Ordinance 101, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, Section 86-70, commercial vehicles prohibited from using certain streets, to more accurately reflect the historical interpretation and application of the same and to provide for related matters. Ordinance 102, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances to enact Section 86-154, temporary parking permit, providing for the issuance of temporary parking permits in no parking zones. Ordinance 103, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of an application with the Federal Transit Administration for operating and capital assistance in the amount of $908,744 through the FTA Section 5307 Urbanized Area Formula Funds, along with the required match in the amount of $211,745 for the use within the Public Works Department Transit Division. Ordinance 104, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of an application with the Federal Transit Administration for capital assistance in the amount of $290,137 through the Federal Transit Administration Section 5339 Bus and Bus Facilities Formula Allocations Program for capital assistance along with the required match in the amount of $51,201 for federal fiscal year of 2018 for use within the Public Works Department Transit Division. Ordinance 105, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter in a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Acadiana Planning Commission to provide transit services along the pilot route linking Lafayette Parish and Acadia Parish. Ordinance 106, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by decreasing anticipated revenues in the amount of $88,822.56 in hazard mitigation grant program funds from the Community Development Department. Ordinance 107, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $30,000 from the Acadiana Park Nature Station Broadwalk Project to the Acadiana Park Nature Station Building Repair Project.
Okay. Any comments from the public on the?
No, sir.
All right, please call the vote.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. At this time now, we need to go ahead and pull up item number 27 for a separate discussion and vote. That will be the last item for tonight. Can you please read?
Ordinance 99, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $9,483,328.79 of the existing bond funds to projects within the Public Works Department that are ready for bid and amending the fiscal year 17-18 5-year capital improvements program to reflect changes necessary to replenish funding.
Got a motion by Councilman Bellard, second by Councilwoman Liz Hebert, and Miss Liz has hit her unofficial mic. You have the floor. You can like, and when you sing, like you can take it off the. There you go. Now you can talk.
Like this?
That's a lot better.
Achieving my American Idol dreams. Oh,
Is it on?
Is it on?
of course it doesn't work. Hello?
Is it on?
No.
It's on. Try it again. Tap the mic.
Nope.
You want to pass it?
It's my moment to shine. Y'all are ruining it.
Oh, the battery died. So I'm gonna give her Councilman Terrio's mic.
Yes, you can use it.
I got you on.
All right, even better.
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead.
All right, thank y'all. If I could bring up Public Works Director. I have a few questions about this. I asked him to pull it just of some concerns that I had. Just want to run through a few questions with Mr. Durock. First, just so everybody knows, I wanted to have him give a quick update on the Collie Saloon project because this is one that is currently in the works. It's made up of two different phases, Phase A, 3A, and then 3B. We are currently on 3A, and that is the roundabout that's on E. Broussard and Collie Saloon Road, and that's currently in the works right now. But can you maybe give us a little update on that?
Well, as you said, 3A is under construction. Let me get some info here. Notice to proceed was October of 2017. It's a $14.4 million bid. It's 3,000 feet of roadway in association with the roundabout. There's also a bridge included. That will basically be where the new intersection is going to be, and the roadway coming back into the existing Collie Saloon Road and then extending, going back the other way into the Q Road area. It's more of a subdivision type street on that end. So all of that is phase 3A. What's your percentage complete on that roof? About 15%.
If you, Mitch, I mean, if you want to, that mic's open if you want to comment. I got it on.
And this is Mark Laverne. Mark's the project manager.
And Mark, do you mind saying that number one more time?
Yep, Mark Laverne with Public Works. We're about 15% dollar value wise into the project right now.
Into 3A. Then 3B, with that we split the projects up prior to the 2016 bidding of 3A. We had split it was one project at that point. We split it into two, and we proceeded immediately with 3A, and we simultaneously started the design process on 3B. However, that one was not as progressed in its stages of design, so it's lagged in its schedule. We at one time, I think, thought we were going to bid that in February, and some delays in design have pushed that to some degree. We're anticipating, hopefully, sometime in September, October, possibly having the plans completed and ready to bid, to let for bid. At this time, the estimate, when we split the projects, the initial estimate was in the range of $12.5 to $13 million for 3B. As we progressed in the design, we were informed of increases in the cost, and the way that it was, as you detail the plans more, you know better what you're actually going to be bidding and receiving cost on. So when they submitted 95% plans, ACP, we call it advanced check prints, it came with the final estimate, and the number was an $18 million number. So we immediately went into our engineering mode and said, well, what's going on here? Why is this so much more than the initial estimate of $12.5 million? Well, the 12.5 was a very schematic type of number, but legitimately it shouldn't have been 18.5. We examined their unit prices that they were using. We felt that, and do feel that they were inordinately high, that we are going to receive better bids than that. And then also there was a design issue with the thickness of the pavement. And so we've gone back and looked at that and found a place where there was an error made. And so we will modify the plans to accommodate that change. And we think that we expect that the estimate will be revised after we do these plan changes to be in the range of $14.5 million, which is about a $2 million increase over the very preliminary number of 12.5. So as we approach bidding, our intent is to provide sufficient funds with contingencies and also covering all of the extraneous costs of running a project, the testing, the inspection, the surveying, that is all part of that final phase. And so we requested in this ordinance an additional $3 million. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that the bid's going to be $3 million more than the total, but we have that contingency going to bid. The reason for that is twofold. We're obligated to have sufficient funds to do the project when we let it for bid. But also from a practical sense, if we come in with a bid that's $100,000 over the budget, well, then we have to go through a budget amendment to proceed. And so that's a 6 to 8 week project, and that pushes that schedule even more. So in being proactive of getting this project as well as two other ones, Friend Bustani is one, and also I think it's Dulles. We have needs to prepare those budgets for bidding, and so those were the funds that we identified as adding funds. Now, FREM was budgeted for the money, but it was to the wrong phase. So we're essentially transferring those funds to the phase one, FREM Bustani. Phase two is so far down the road, it's not even going to be needed for 4 or 5 years. So, so that was the essence of the positives on the ledger sheet. And then all of the other ones were projects that are not quite ready for bid. We think they'll be ready 6 to 8 to 12 months, some of them. And I think we identified each one individually in the descriptions that we supplied with the ordinance. And so those funds would be, they're bond monies that are available now, and then we're replacing by transferring it to these projects that are ready. Then we'll replenish the other budgets with bond money in the next bond sale. And that's the essence of that list.
When did, so originally we were preparing for the 12, 13 million. It came back at 18 million. And then now with some changes, we're about 14 to 15 million. When did they decide that it needed to be 18 million?
That was an estimate given to us in mid-April, April 13th.
Okay. And when was the original estimate given?
Well, way back when we split the projects and it was really focused on 3A, and then the remainder of whatever their very first budget was, it left 12.5 million. So that was the working number that was used for probably 2 or 3 years.
For 3 years, okay.
I don't have an exact date on that.
And then, so I know some other council members, and I want to give them an opportunity to speak as well, because this affects, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to pull it, is I know other council members are concerned about their projects, and rightfully so. We all want to do for our district, and they have some concerns about whether or not their projects are shovel-ready. Because my idea of shovel-ready, and I think the engineer's idea of shovel-ready, and my constituents' ideas of shovel-ready are 3 different, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page on that. So for right now, I'm going to yield the floor to the rest of my council members to ask their questions as well.
Okay. Councilman Castillo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I have a project that's in this list of items. The Louisiana Avenue extension, the last phase of the extension, I think I've got a little over $7 million in the account. It's fully funded. And you and I talked, Mark, this afternoon about possible bid dates, and you said 6 months with DOTD's issues, so I'll give you 6 months, November, December. College Saloon Phase 2 is going to bid September, October, which is only 2 months prior to mine, but yet you're going to cut $3.5 million out of my budget, put it in these other projects, and then 2 months later, mine's ready for bid, and I'm stuck. I don't have any money. I got $3.5 million to do a $7 million project. So that's my heartburn with this. First of all, I didn't find out about this until I started asking questions and updates on my Louisiana Avenue project, that this was being cut out and had an ordinance coming to the council. That's not how I do business. If we needed money for either College Saloon, Friend-Bustani, Dulles, whatever it is, whatever project it is, I can't see cutting a project that's 2 months behind that project, cutting half the funding, taking it away, and then when it's ready to bid, no money. But it was funded, fully funded, with 2 months separation. I have a hard time with that. This project was started in 1987, Louisiana Avenue. And I want to say they had 5 phases. The last phase was completed in 2013. We're in 2018. And this last phase is what we're waiting on. I know you're having issues with the roundabout and DOTD. I understand that. I'll talk to you about that. But once we get off point with them, then we're ready to go. You're going to adjust your plans, and we're going to bid it out. If it's 6 months from now, it's 6 months from now, which will be December. So my heartburn is y'all taking half of my funding away for a project that's going to bid 2 months prior to mine. And then when it's my turn to bid, and I'm ready to go for this project, and I've been waiting since 2013, I can't do anything. And y'all saying that we need to sell bonds, and we can put it back with the bond money. Well, we don't have any bonds. We're not selling any bonds. Been a couple of years we hadn't sold any bonds, 2.5 years. I can't wait another 2 years to get this project done, because this money was set aside in this account, fully funded for this project, ready to move. And at the 11th hour, we're going to take half of it. I'm not going for that at all. It don't sit good with me. It don't sit good with the people I represent, because this Louisiana Avenue is going to be a major, major artery for my people. They travel the thruway, 7:30 in the morning, got a 5-mile backup. They get on Moore Street. They cut through the neighborhoods to get to Louisiana Avenue to come to work in Lafayette. So this last leg of this extension has to be done. This is not a luxury item. This is a necessity. So I can't sit by and allow y'all to take $3.5 million out of my project. I'm not. I'm really not. So I'm going to vote against this thing right off the bat, unless somebody can change my mind, but I'm not voting for this at all. That's just one of my projects. Now, Point de Mouton was my project one time. I see y'all taking almost $300,000 of that one. I don't know why, but that falls into Mr. Boudreaux's district, but I think we kind of feel the same way. I mean, these projects, we funded these projects, the money's there, we're ready to move. So that Louisiana Avenue project, you can't have that money.
Well, I'll interject this if it's okay for me to interject. Just to comment to you is that some of this may be my naivety about the process, but we replaced everything we were requesting now to use monies that we have in hand to be replaced by bond sale in fiscal year 17-18, and it fit in that range. And so my understanding was that was a budgeted thing, that was going to happen. And I've asked the question, and I've been told that, yeah, we will sell the bonds as we need them to do projects. And so our expectation or intention was that all of these projects, I want to build all the projects. I want $3.8 billion, and I'm going to build all the projects. We'll design them and build them. I don't want to, and I don't like to delay any project. And so that certainly wasn't my intent in bringing this forward. And if that was a misunderstanding of the reality, then that's where this conversation needs to be. So I do understand, and I can't disagree with your interpretation of it, except that my expectation was that the $3 million was going to be replaced in the next bond sale.
That we never made.
We haven't made it yet.
And I can't sit on this project on maybe we might do it at the end of the year, or maybe beginning of next year, or maybe. This project is fully funded. And 6 months of bid process, I'm giving them time. And they're taking half of my money.
I get it.
Not happening. And I'm not going to support this introductory ordinance at all.
Okay.
Not in this form. That's all for now, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Castillo. Councilman Boudreaux, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Mark, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's not anything that you have created or have done, and you're trying to spend money. But I have to agree with Jay that this process is not a good one. And I'm going to tell you why. There's been one occasion where money was transferred into District 4 to finish a project, and it was recent. I went to Mr. Lewis to finish our police precinct over there on Moore Street. And the reason I went to him is because I've given millions to District 3 prior to him coming. But since he's come, I gave him a little bit. I was just trying to get a little bit back. But I've seen money leave East Point de Mouton, went to West Point de Mouton to fix some lights and some curb cuts for Correct Farms, and the school was backed up into the road. And unfortunately, the plan to put it back is always there, but the vehicle to do it seems to never come. Bond sales right now are pie in the sky. That there has been none, and we don't know when they're coming, and there's just no guarantee. And we evaluate the market and we look at things, and if the market isn't too appealing, it don't happen. What Mr. Castillo didn't acknowledge, which is going to probably happen, is not only if you take half of those funds. When he go to bid, he gonna fall into the same category as Ms. Ebert. He's gonna probably be not only short half the funds that was taken, but the anticipated budgeted amount probably won't be sufficient for the new numbers that have coming out with the cost and increases in services and goods. Which leads me to my reason why I have a problem with this. I have said it has become evident to me that people do not want to pay anymore. I've heard that very clearly, and I'm acknowledging that, and I'm taking that. And I think when we move money in this manner, it's misleading. It really is. I believe that this legislative body, these 9 members, are ultimately fiscally responsible and accountable to where things go. And I think that the process should be here. Once before, we talked about the recommendations coming from the department. But unfortunately, those recommendations don't always come in balanced. And what happens is, and even if you look at this list, if you look at where a lot of this money is coming from and where a lot of this money is going, it's crossing town yet again. And I have a problem with that. I think that the 9 of us are going to have to put our head together, and through these budget processes that we go through, we're going to have to determine as a unit what we want to pay for. And then when we go to the people, you see, we can't be split. We can't be saying no to trying to generate revenue, but still asking for projects. Those two things don't go hand in hand. Because when my constituents tell me no, I don't want to do more, I tell them, you can't have more. You're going to only get what you got. I think we ought to make sure these projects going forward are going to have to be dependent upon what is affordable and what we could pay for without taking from other legitimate, scheduled, budgeted projects. That we have to work within the means that we have, because that's what I've been told. We got to work within the means that we have. And in this case, I saw a lot of information that shows you all have reduced the project some to actually get to the number. We might need some more reductions on the project, and then say this is what we can afford to do. And when we sell bonds, a phase might have to go into the new bond sale. Don't put something that's already paid for in the bond sale. No, this was how the project was identified. This is the budgetary process that was put forth. This is what we have, and this is what we could do. And phase 3 or phase 4 is going to come in the next bond sale. Don't punish another project for the sake of completing one. I would suggest that we put that new stuff in the bond sale, and people are going to have a great idea of what we really need to do services and programs in Lafayette. And if they say, no, well, then we know that they don't want any more, and we're satisfied with where they are. But I'm not going to support this. And I've asked, like I said, it was when you first got here. So, and I know you're still catching up with a lot of stuff, getting on top of some things. And I have actually appreciated some of the things you've implemented, okay, especially with professional services and other things. But we're going to have to look at this process. But coming with a list of $9 million of transfers from anywhere to anywhere at this junction, that's a lot.
Okay.
That's
well, we knew that.
Yeah.
We have 3 projects that
right.
we can bid now.
I would just suggest to avoid this. I think we need to go within those boundaries and see what is being worked with, and we got to first prioritize what is in that district. Then you won't have any issue, because that's what I do. I try to help the situation. When I need something, I go to something that's in District 4 to pay for District 4. I try not to go into someone else, because the only other supply they have is called the general fund. Tonight we heard we might be getting $14-15 million, and I don't know how that's going to be utilized in the police department. But sadly, I think we subsidize it about $14-15 million in the city's general fund. So I don't know how those funds are going to be used. But the other place to go for a councilman to go is into the general fund and be convincing that this project is so important, so needed, and so worthy, and get the support of this council without hurting any of their activity. Now, I think with the audit show, we've got about, what, 35 million in the general fund, 40? 48 million? You're not moving your head, Laura. You don't like to talk about the general fund, huh? It's going to be talked about a lot in a couple of months, believe you me. But you see, that's a place you could go. And you're not affecting anybody right here. So, but this here, too much. Simcoe Street, we doing so much on Simcoe right now. They got money in the Simcoe Street corridor. Yet a place where we should be investing. All of the places we go visit where they talk about smart growth, smart cities, and all of this is about fixing up. The mayor has committed some things to Simcoe. We have worked hard on Simcoe. We got plans of lean urbanism. We doing condemnations. We doing everything. But if the money disappeared to actually do some work when the time comes, it's like, okay, we knocked down some buildings. What's next? So, yeah. This is not the place to get it. Thank you, sir.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I just want to echo what Mr. Castile and Mr. Boudreaux is saying, that some funds is supposedly coming out of District 3. I remember when I first came in office, a lot of the people that when I was campaigning about Walker Road, that's one of the oldest projects that is on the book.
That's well I know.
You know, and now I remember we put in close to over $1 million for that project, and now we're talking about taking $500,000 away from it. And I'm just trying to understand shovel ready. I thought that project was pretty close to being shovel ready, but I understand there's some hurdles that we have to go through. But again, shovel ready to me, just do something. It'll be shovel ready. That way the money won't disappear. And then we keep talking about transfer. I have a problem with that because since I've been in office and what I've been hearing in the past, when money's being transferred, it's supposed to come back. But it's not a transfer, it's a withdrawal. A withdrawal money doesn't come back unless you put it back in. So we want to transfer some funds for somewhere else. That's fine and dandy. But the money's being withdrawn. Will I ever get it back? That's what my concern is. Will I ever get it back? Selling bonds now. I'm understanding for the bonds, there might be a penalty or a fine or what have you. Laura, what is that penalty will be? Nobody knows. It might not be that much like we talking about. You know, we talking about moving $9 million. I don't know how much it is, and the fine might be, the penalty might be maybe $1,000. I don't know. But that's what's always brought to my attention. The bond, we don't want to lose this bond funding because we'll be penalized. I don't know what the penalty is. Might not be that much. Might be the penalty may be okay, and just move forward. And that's just one. And I'm grateful for the mayor want to do something with University Avenue. When people come from, mostly everybody coming to Lafayette, traveling on Interstate 10, they're passing on the 4 corridors that I represent: Louisiana Avenue, University, I-49, and Ambassador Caffrey. But if you're not familiar with Lafayette, you might not want to come back. You might not want to shop. So I believe in doing something with University Avenue so it can be inviting, beautiful. So people want to come back and spend these tourist dollars that the creator is supposed to make happen. There's a lot of undeveloped commercial property in District 3. And we got to develop it, we got to make the roads nicer. 4-lane University, make it beautiful. Do something with I-49, Ambassador Caffrey, and so on. But if this money keeps moving, in fact, there's a project that's supposed to happen within the next couple of, I thought it was supposed to start in September, doing something with North San Antoine. I don't know. I'm in limbo right now. So that's why I really have a problem with going on right now. And I understand other people need help, but Walker Road been flooding for probably since Walker Road was developed, 40, 50 years old, Lord, longer than that. Been a problem. And I understand what's going on. I understand, but I don't feel right about it because since I've been here, money just been sort of like disappearing in a good way, really in a good way. But I would like to see it stay in a better way. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Terrio. Oh, that would be Councilwoman Liz Hebert. I'm sorry, I forgot your mic wasn't working. You have the mic.
You know, I think we can talk about this all night long. Like I mentioned, we are all here, all 10 of us are here to fight for our districts and get as much money as we can for our districts and our projects that mean so much to the people in our district. And we're all biased to each and every one of our districts. You know, there was mention that, you know, projects are once again going to this side of town. And you're right, and that may be the case for some things. But that side of town, District 8, College Saloon, Friend-Brustani, all those areas, while your areas are important to you, that area is important to me because it's booming. And it's booming fast. And it's been booming before I ever got on the council for way more than 3 years ago. And the reports show that are out there, it's not going to slow down anytime soon. You know, and we want to be careful about not preventing developers from developing and stopping progress, but we're not preparing for progress. We're not. And I respect each of you, and that's why I wanted to bring this so we can all have a conversation. My constituents like Jay have been waiting for years for this project to be started, and I've been told by Public Works, everyone else, and my constituents that this should be built. I shouldn't even have to be discussing this. It would have been nice had it been finished and red taped as soon as I got on the council, and I could have taken credit for all the work, but unfortunately we're here. And I've been working closely with Mark on this every couple of weeks, emailing them both saying, what's the update? My people want to know. Let me put in my newsletter. Give me an update. I have a watchdog committee that I report to so they can get the word out. And already we're hearing delays, and already it's getting pushed back, and already it's this. I'm with y'all. I'm just as frustrated. And when you warned me about it when I got on the council, I said, no way. This is going to be different for me. I feel your pain. And it's frustrating when time after time and month after month I'm told it's on track, everything's on schedule, we got the money. And I'm thrilled to report to my constituents, we got the money, we're on schedule, everything's good, working with my state level, making sure everything's good, to all of a sudden be told a month ago, not so good. It's, you know, somebody else comes back with $2, $3, $5 million. What? I'm in the wrong industry. Marketing's not paying me that. So I'm completely frustrated. I'm as frustrated as y'all are. And that's why as soon as I heard about the situations with Jay's being shovel ready, Bruce's being shovel ready, and there were some other concerns about you all, I want us to work together because all of our projects are important. And no one should have to suffer, especially at the expense of someone else. So I want us to work together on this and find a solution. That way, whether it's a compromise, whether it's this, whether it's that, I want us to work together to find a solution to this issue. Now, I'm asking my council members to support me. Doesn't really sound like I'm getting a lot of support over there on that end, and I have a feeling that it won't go my way. But I want my constituents to know this isn't over. I'm just as frustrated as you are. Mark Squared, and I will be working very closely to figure out what the next steps are. If I don't get the funding that we need here, we're going to find the funding. And I'm going to bring in the mayor president who, at the beginning of both of our terms, said this is a priority to getting this finished. So I'm humbly asking for your support. I understand if you can't give it, and that's fine because you've got to do what's right for your districts, but I'm asking you for your support. If not, we'll be working closely together to make sure this happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Robideau.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief, and if I could, if you would allow me to just speak in fairly general terms, I want to remind the council that there's a provision in law that requires you to spend bond proceeds within a particular amount of time, and if you'll notice here, we're talking about existing bond funds. It's bond money that's out there that needs to be spent. I think you'll remember that maybe 18 months ago or so when we were looking into doing the bond issues that's going to allow us to do a lot of the projects in everyone's district. that we felt like we needed to do a better job of spending some of these older bond proceeds as quickly as possible before we went back to the bond markets. And so we've been doing that. And we've been doing it as aggressively as possible. And so just know that that I represent all of your districts, and I appreciate the projects in each one of your districts. And certainly in our haste to spend the older bond proceeds, 2 or 3 month gap between a bid date is not exactly, I don't think, what any one of us had in mind, but we're trying to get those bond proceeds spent so that we can comfortably go back and do a significant bond issue and put that money into projects all across the parish. And so I wanted just to make sure and remind everybody that it was my directive that we spend the old bond proceeds as fast as possible. My edict to Public Works was find the projects where the money would be spent and go spend it. And then we're going to issue bonds and replace that money in every project that we needed to transfer. Saying that, and hearing the testimony as it relates to the specific projects related to this proposed introductory ordinance, I certainly understand and respect everyone's position and know why there's both support and opposition for it. But I wanted to make sure that I spoke on behalf of Public Works and reminded the council that there was a strategic reason that a lot of these transfers were happening, and that the intention certainly is that we are going to replace the funding for whatever transfers were made over the course of the last 18 months, and that may be made in the next several months to get us to the position where we do feel really comfortable going to. We have capacity to issue bonds, so we've checked almost all of the boxes of where we need to be to do that. But there was just I sensed the frustration, and there was a part of me that wondered if maybe some of us had forgotten the conversations that we had over a year and a half ago and what we were trying to accomplish. And so saying that, certainly I respect the will of the council and appreciate the dialogue and continued dialogue, but just know that this administration has not and will not put projects in any particular district in a favorite status. We were looking to spend money where the projects were that we could spend it the fastest, and that's the intention behind all of our efforts over the course of the last year and a half. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm not seeing any other speakers.
We do have 2 speakers, the first of which is Jerry Gregg, and he will be followed by Bruce Blanchard.
Thank you. My name is Jerry Gregg. I live at 120 Peck Boulevard. I'm in Councilwoman Hebert's district, District 8. Peck Boulevard is about halfway between 733 and Ambassador Caffrey on the College Saloon Road. And I'm here specifically to speak about that part of the project. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your service. I know it's getting on tonight, but it's been a while since I've been to these meetings, and I forgot how much fun they were. But again, thank you for your service. So I had 4 points. Number 1, we had requested through Councilwoman Hebert for an updated project timeline back on May 31st, and we haven't seen anything yet, and it's June 19th, I think, today. Is that forthcoming? I don't know. I'm probably not supposed to address them, but at any rate, we would hope it is forthcoming to get that project update. Secondly, we too were surprised that the project is the College Saloon part. It was $5 million over budget, and there's some suggestions, and I know Mark mentioned some things that they're doing to look at what they can shave off. We would be supportive of transferring funds, the $3 million as proposed in this ordinance, but we are very much concerned about the other $2 million in savings they're proposing by shaving off. He talked about concrete depths and so forth. We do not believe we should be compromising the quality of this project. to Councilman Castillo's comments earlier, you beat us all. 1987, that's a long time to start a project. But many of us have been involved with this project, the College Saloon widening, since 2008. And I suspect there's probably nobody here but Pat Logan. We used to talk to Pat Logan, Tom Carroll, Mitch Weibel. Is Mitch still working? Okay, Mitch is probably the one still around. But we go way back on this project. It's been one disappointment after the other. We believe that our last official briefing was one that Councilman Hebert facilitated for us. Is back about 2 years ago in March. In fact, Mayor President Robideau was there as well. We would like to ask for another such briefing on the project, and we'd be glad to host it if we could get the cooperation and the participation of Public Works. There's a lot of frustration and a lot of confusion on this project. And my last point is, I put it together sitting here tonight. There's been a lot of discussion tonight about quality of life and about being a progressive community. Per Lafayette Consolidated Government Public Works, there are about 20,000 vehicles that travel this stretch of road a day. 20,000. And there's at least 20,000 voters in those cars. But it's a 2-mile stretch. During the school year, it's from 733 all the way to Ambassador Caffrey, it's a rolling parking lot. Okay, and it's taken a long time. It'll be at best 12 years from start to finish to take this 2-lane road to a 4-lane road, and we really need to be better at doing that. We recommend more significant and closer project management on this project, and we ask for your support and certainly additional collaboration on additional meetings going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Bruce Blanchard.
I'm Bruce Blanchard from 112 Peck. Faced with all the problems that everyone said and listening to all y'all tonight, I'm a transplant, as you can tell. I don't speak like y'all. I have a different accent. And I came over in 2007 and have been told by every politician that it was going to be done and finished. And all politicians, well, nothing's been done. Y'all are experiencing the same problems that we are out there. And it's time to cast all the political stuff aside. You got a man that was a businessman, been exposed, run like a business. And that's all I can ask. Take and spend money that you have, do it the proper way, take care of what's being done, and watch what you budgeted and watch what your costs are. Just treat it like a business and we'll all be happy and we'll be successful. Thank you.
Okay. Not seeing any other speakers. Please, that's it. Okay. Please call the vote.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9, District 1,
No.
District 2,
No.
District 3,
No.
District 4,
No.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6.
No.
Motion to introduce failed.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Have a good night. See you next time.